Camping 3 was, kinda mediocre. It didn't bring much to the table, only a pretty basic camping game. But I still like some parts of it. How this video will basically work is that I will discuss the story while talking about what happens and which sections I like and stuff. Basically, you go to this shack in the mountains, I think, and you meet Daniel and Steve. Not David like I theorized. You get the basic tour of the campsite, and Samson's building has gotten way better, and I think this place looks great. But like usual in most camping games, replaying the game and going through these sections are just not what I'm looking for. Though the part with the mouse running is pretty cool. At night you hear Steve crying, and at first I was interested to see where the story would go with this character. I want to learn more about him, since we basically knew nothing, and I'm excited to see what they do. It turns out Zach Nolan is alive! Somehow! And when you're able to bring someone back to life in stories, it just ruins any stakes. Nothing is permanent. The only reason he is here is because they want to redeem him. Well, after an action-packed and pretty cool section I really liked, a pointless side plot gets introduced where everyone gets sick. I'm sorry it lasts too long. In games like Field Trip C, everything that happens has a point. It either progresses the story, or it's a choice. But a big flaw with the camping series, and especially this game, is that so many pointless things happened, which is just there to fill out the runtime. And after being stuck with someone sick in the shack for 2 minutes, you go and get wood. In the night you hang out in the mine, and here's the worst part about the game. In almost all the early story games, someone randomly dies from a set of circumstances. That was the worst part about the previous games, but sadly, it was brought over to Camping 3 as well. And instead of someone just randomly dying, it's with voting. I dislike this so much. Everyone has to act so mean to stay alive, and I just don't like it. This right here, I hope it never happens in another story game ever again. These are old, outdated tropes, and they don't need to exist anymore. Next you do an obby and you meet Daniel, and this obby part was fairly creative and I really liked it. After this, the mouse appears, as well as a monster from Hotel who's called Limbo, who actually turns out was Zach Nolan's daughter, and I thought it was his wife. And we enter a boss fight, which is pretty hard, but I love it. They mostly repeat attacks in the start, but when they do combo attacks, it's so awesome. This is probably my favorite part of the game besides the story. And then you die. You're put in a minecart because the villains thought it would be funny. The remaining 4 people in the family who hasn't given up yet helps you, and after arguing, a character called Nightmare appears and he stops everyone and ruins Zack and Emma's Halloween costumes. Dad apologizes to Zack and the cart begins to roll, and Zack helps you by sacrificing himself. And this was supposed to be like a very beautiful moment for redemption of this character. But I didn't understand it at first, so here was my initial reaction. Oh, he's coming to save us! Oh, thank you. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, but I think this was actually a very nice ending to the series. Ah! Just kidding. It was just a question mark. It's fine. Camping 4 does not exist. It cannot hurt you. I myself think camping ends here, though there will probably be new story games Samsung make, like he said before. I don't know if those games will be in the same universe as camping, but we shall see. I thought this was a nice place to end the story, and I wasn't sure about redeeming Zack at first, but it worked out pretty well, and I really love how the game asks so many questions. How was Zack brought back to life? Who is Nightmare? Who is Zack's wife? What's next? So I think this game was great story-wise, but gameplay-wise, I might revisit the game, but I don't think I'll play it much. Now I will ask, how does Camping 3 fit in my ranking? I think it's right about here, above Camping 1, but under Hotel, and Camping 2 remains my favorite in the series. I had so much fun with Camping 3, and I loved the game, especially the story and building department. But I think we should move away from some of these story game tropes. What I want from a story game is a good story, innovation, and something replayable. So, I would like to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye! good to be done with that video. I have no idea what my next one will be. Well, it's 4 AM. I'll go down and get a snack. Why not?